Okay, so he's also got a Lion's Eye Diamond. So he has a lot of mana on the table. Um, but, no real setup. And so right now I'm calculating if it's conceivable um, that he could Ad Nauseum me in response to my fetch land. And so I'm actually calculating out um, the possibilities. Like if he has a Cabal Ritual, he could actually go off with Dark Ritual into Cabal Ritual into Ad Nauseum. Um, but then with only 10 life and I still have a Thorn of Amethyst in play, I think I'd still be okay. And also, it's exceedingly unlikely. So instead, I just get a Wasteland. Um, but it's nice to like calculate to make sure that you're not gonna make a mistake that ends up screwing you over. I think at any rate, like even if he had a reasonable probability to go off, it's still the right play. Um, you know, to get the Wasteland. Anyway, so I keep Weather Wayfarer untapped. My opponent doesn't have any black sources other than his Lotus Petal, and so I wanted to stay open with a potential to cast Spell Pierce. I know that my go-to counter spell is still going to be the Force of Will, but um, Force of Will pitching the Fathoms here. But it's still nice to also have the option to Spell Pierce if he casts something that I could potentially Spell Pierce. So he duresses me, and then I calculate. Um, I could obviously Spell Pierce it, but that's terrible because he could pay for the Spell Pierce, um, and then take my Force of Will, and then I don't have any counter magic. And so at this point, my best bet is just to show my hand. I could also force the duress, but that's really pointless, since it also prevents me from Spell Piercing him. Although it's worth pointing out, this duress costs him um, basically a full turn because it costs him 2 mana to get off, and it's going to cost him um, his fetch land for a non-basic. So he makes the obvious correct decision. He takes the Force of Will. There's almost zero reason to take the Spell Pierce, but I guess he's calculating. So at the end step, I get a Wasteland. So I've got Ether Vial. That doesn't change anything. Um, I'm not going to have time to cast it. It costs 2 under Thorn. Um, that's not going to happen. And so, but I'm deciding whether I should swing with one or both. And so, I choose to swing with both. It puts him on a 4-turn clock. It really ramps up the pressure. And it lets me stay open for the Spell Pierce. I'm also kind of banking on him, like, not being able to find a land coupled with a dangerous play. So the only reason to keep the Weathered Wayfarer untapped is if I actually thought there's a legitimate chance that I'd be able to fetch a Wasteland against him. So he tops to put a Chrome Mox into play. That's fine. Obviously, again, like Spell Pierce doesn't do anything. Spell Pierce just makes him, just costs him 2, so that doesn't do anything. So now the question is what to do. So again, I could Wayfarer, get a Wasteland, and waste him, but then I don't have Spell Pierce backup. Keep in mind, Spell Pierce still costs 2 under the Thorn of Amethyst. So I hate to miss a land drop, but I think it's better off to keep swinging and then keep him on the short clock. So swing him for 2 more to put him at 4. I mean, the dangerous stuff that he could potentially have is more or less shut down by the combination of Spell Pierce and Thorn of Amethyst. I mean, what he really needs to do is he needs to bounce the Thorn and then have, like, Ad Nauseum or something. But I know that Sensei's Divining Top is his top card. Again, my opponent made a mistake. What he should have done was he should have paid 1 to activate top, and then in response, like, tap the top. And so that would have given me an opportunity to Spell Pierce and take 1 Lotus Petal, but it would also allow him to move top from being the top card. So as it is, I know for a fact that since Divining Top is his top card, and I can really eliminate some conceivable plays. So say he has, like, a worst case scenario, he has Echoing Truth for my Thorn of Amethyst right now. Then he has to untap, play the top, find an Ad Nauseum. Or no, he doesn't have to activate the top, but he has to play the top and then activate an Ad Nauseum. He doesn't have enough mana to do that. And so, anyway, so I calculated out, he doesn't have many options, and then I should swing. And again, slight mistake by my opponent. Anyway, so Ad Nauseum, he's got a lead in play. And so I wait to see if he wants to crack the lead. And he cracks the lead for 3 black. Incidentally, you can't respond to a lead activation. It's a mana ability. So even though it can only be played anytime you could play an instant, it's still a mana ability. Oh, he forgets to discard his card. Like, I didn't notice that in the game. I'm thinking about, like, there's almost mathematically no way he could possibly go off. So he needs, like, Lotus Petal to make blue, and then Chain of Vapor on my Thorn, and, like, drawing a way to win, which isn't going to happen. Anyway, see you for game 3.